Let's get this meeting into session already. I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't think of anything for this week that didn't involve hours of research, which I didn't have the time nor energy to do. So instead, let's have a more lighthearted meeting where we look at writing memes since I haven't made an episode like this in months. May 2nd, 2021 to be precise. So, what are we waiting for? I'll be looking over some memes, reading them out, and reacting. So let's just search them up. Writing memes. Images. Alright, these don't seem that funny. Especially since these images are primarily like picture focused and not like being more based around the words themselves. Alright, this one's pretty good. Me, how many words have I written? Is it a million? Is it 2 million? Word counter, 409 words. Me, lies. Writing at a reasonable time, writing in the middle of the night. It's a little Drake thing. See, me feeling guilty after I haven't written in a week, and it's a picture of sad baby Yoda. Alright, here's the little difficulting to decide image where there's two red buttons. It says, write, complain about how bad my writing is, me as a writer. Alright, me to my characters at first versus me to my characters now. So I'm not leaving until you laugh. Hey, Panini Head, are you even listening to me? Let's see. Another Drake meme. So, writing your stories, bad. Fantasizing with a lot of inconsistent ideas and never bringing your story to life, good. What are you going to do if this whole writer thing doesn't pan out? I'm just gonna go live under a bridge and ask people riddles before they cross. Me when I make a grammar mistake online. Me 2 minutes later. Me 3 days later. Me trying to sleep 4 years later. Ooh, this is a cute Dory meme. Just keep writing, just keep writing, just keep writing, writing, writing. Me copying off the work on my teacher's board because I don't know what to do on my paper. Grammar mistake there. Perfect for a writer meme. Writer, what my friends think I do. Stare at typewriter, because that's in this era. What my mom thinks I do, sit on the side of the road getting drunk and high like a homeless man. What society thinks I do, go to fancy parties and talk to people. What editors expect me to do, be J.K. Rowling. What I think I do, look absolutely hot and play with a feather pen. And what I really do, Robert Downey Jr. playing with a slinky. When a funder asks to give your mission, history, and outcomes in 100 words or less. This is reasonable. Writing what happens next in my whip, daydreaming what happens next in my whip without writing anything down. Writer's life, writing a first draft. First draft, don't book the cover by its judge. Second draft, don't cover the judge by its book. Inspiration, final draft, only judge can God me. Honestly, I want to make that my bio. Only judge can God me. Can't talk. Need to concentrate on this writing project. And it's a picture of a cat with earmuffs on. Alright, this one is of a little boy in a very fancy suit. So, being a good writer is 3% talent, 97% not getting distracted by the internet. You people listening to my podcast, I'm looking at you. Not really. I'm currently looking at the corner of my bed because you guys obviously aren't here. I'd be terrified if you were. And my dog has abandoned me because she got scared of my leg. All right, next up. No one. My brain fully unable to accept that drafting is supposed to be rough. I'm going to create a first draft that is so perfect. I don't know I can't remember what that show is called, so I'm not going to look at that one. When someone checks your net history, it was for a book I was writing. A book. You gotta believe me. Oh, yeah. This will be a good thing for me to elaborate on. So, in a portion, so this isn't necessary for a book, but for one of my episodes I made, it was like poisons and like food, like poison ingredients or something like that. I made two different episodes that are basically similar, just based around different things. And I was telling one of my teachers about it. I was like, "Hey, I was looking up different types of poisons," and she was like, "Why were you doing that?" And I was like, "Oh, it was for a podcast." She was like, "Oh, clear out your search history. Oh, so feel free to share your podcast." And then there's also the fact that for Shrouded Personas, which is the novel I most recently finished writing, I had to constantly research different types of like guns and knives. So if I were to look back on my like search history throughout the months, you'd just be able to see like combat knives, different type of knives, blue knives, bloody knives, knives good for slitting throats, different types of pocket knives, and so on and so forth. All right, so this is a meme of Fry from Futurama squinting. Not sure if I have writer's block or if I'm just lazy. Uh, okay, this one's cut out poorly, so I can't even understand what it says. Reader, oh my god, I can't wait for the next chapter. Me, in terms of next chapter, I have no next chapter. This is exactly what I did for my complete opposite series. For the people that don't know, I wrote a separate series on like different fan fiction websites like Wattpad, Webnovel, Quotev, Inkitt, that kind of stuff. And just I got so busy with school, I lost motivation with it. And then I was like, okay, week I'm too busy this week, so I'll just upload like 2 chapters next week. And then I never went back to it. Actually, I'm going to quickly look it up. The quick link to the website is no longer here because I haven't visited the site in months. I think I was at like around 50 chapters before I left. I need to log in. I don't remember my login. Luckily, I always log in with Google. I believe it was this account. By the way, Quotev, for the people who don't know what it is, absolutely amazing site. Not sponsored, but I love it. You get like really good interactions with everybody. Oh my god, my reads absolutely jumped while I was gone. So yeah, for complete opposites, I last uploaded 8 months ago. So nearly a year. And there's currently 237 pages. My last read was 9 weeks ago. And I currently have, I think it's 57 chapters on here. Let me check. Yep, 57 chapters. Let's quickly do a read through of it. By the way, since I lost motivation of this like little story, I just completely like started writing shorter and shorter chapters because I just couldn't find the energy to like write through, edit, proofread, all that stuff like within a single week because I also have school and all that and have to work on other things. So basically, the plot of this thing is basically it's two best friends that have known each other since fourth grade, and they are complete opposites, yet they're still best friends. So since this thing's clearly not going to continue, because I haven't uploaded to it in months, I was planning on having it like they continue to argue, Like they go over an argument about something, and then they like don't talk to each other for like a month. They both get their new lives and they learn to how like rely on themselves and not be so dependent on each other. And then they both graduate, and then they like get close, and then they like get closer again, closer to graduation, and then they become friends again, and then they eventually start dating, and it ends off with the happy ending. Though I've noticed recently that my books do not go well with happy endings, which is probably why I was not able to continue the story. So let's just read the final chapter of that I uploaded of Complete Opposites. Actually, let's read the first chapter and then go out to the final chapter. All right, so the first chapter is called Fourth Grade. The school bell rings eerily. By the way, I'm pretty sure this one wasn't edited. So the school bell rings eerily, the same as any other day. The loud bustling of students erupts as everyone takes their seats. In the center of the room, and in the center of everyone's tension, sits Alina Wind. She's probably the most uplifting extrovert in the entire school. She is the top of her class. She's the best trumpet player in the school band, captain of all the sports teams, and she is even the leader of her school's creative writing club. Throwback. The teacher, Mr. Smith, clears his throat. Good morning, all of my amazing students. Good morning, Mr. Smith, all of the students say in unison. Mr. Smith smiles happily. Mr. Smith has long hair that looks like it's from a rock star wannabe, like it's from a rock star wannabe from 2011. He has welcoming hazel eyes and wears a black suit to school every day. I never said the color of his hair. Good to know. Knox, how are you today? Mr. Smith asks the boy in the back of the class. He's staring out the window, completely zoned out and in another world. The boy doesn't react, so Mr. Smith repeats himself. Knox Atkins. Knox jumps up and looks around in shock. Welcome back to Earth. How are you today? Knox mumbles and shrugs dully. I don't know. You? Mr. Smith chuckles. I'm fine, thank you. Without missing a beat, Knox looks back towards the window and goes back to daydreaming. Mr. Smith shifts his attention over to Alina, who is helping her classmate beside her with their math homework. Alina Wind, how are you today? Alina jumps to her feet, energy bursting at the seams. I am doing amazingly today. Thank you so much for asking. Her smile is as bright as the sun. Her every action leaves people in awe. And I hope that you all have an amazing day as well. Clapping and cheers erupts from the class. Mr. Smith laughs. I always enjoy your energy, Alina. Alina sits back down and continues to help her classmates. Now, today will be a group project day. Sorry for any independent workers, but you will have to collaborate today. Knox perks up, finally paying attention. He looks around the room for anyone else that might be just as against that idea as him. As he searches around the room, he can see that people are already making their groups. Some girls whisper and point at him in his loneliness. Alina raises her hand and speaks up. Excuse me, Mr. Smith, but it's only the third week of school. Not everybody is comfortable yet. Yeah, like Knox, squeals one of the girls. The girl's pretty much the color pink. Pink shoes, pink socks, pink shorts that are way too short for a 9-year-old. A pink crop top and a pink beret. Last year she even said in front of the entire class that her spirit animal was the color pink. Granted, she was 8, but still. If Alina wasn't here, then this school would have definitely been something out of Mean Girls. It has only been 3 weeks and Alina is already the most popular girl in school. Not because of her looks, but because of how kind and helpful she is. I don't think I've ever seen him talk to anyone. He's such a nobody. In those anime clothes? Only losers like anime. Alina stands up and walks confidently to Knox's side. I don't think I've ever seen you respect a person. The class, including the teacher, ooh in favor of Alina. Alright, class, that's enough. Mr. Smith attempts to settle everyone down, while also hiding his amusement from Alina's comeback. Alina, you can work with Knox and Brecken. I will be calling your and Brecken, I will be calling your parents. The class laughs and Brecken stomps her feet in anger. Alina smiles sweetly at Knox and pulls up a seat next to him. He musters up a decent smile, trying to be nice. Knox is wearing a game over hoodie, a long sleeve shirt, and the words Death Note written on it, on some Dragon Ball headphones. His pants are baggy with the Naruto logo written all over them. His shoes are black and red Nike running shoes, and his socks are plain black and low cut. He's skinny, a common contrast to Alina's athletic build. His skin is dark bronze. His hair is a freshly styled dark brown afro, and he has dark brown eyes. Mr. Smith gets their attention back with a simple cough. The first activity will be building a tower using marshmallows and spaghetti. Half of the class smiles from excitement, and the other half rolls their eyes. Everyone in this room has done this already. Mr. Smith starts walking around the room, handing out papers and supplies. You all have 1 hour. Alina turns back to Knox with a warm and upbeat smile on her face. So warm it can even make snow melt. She is wearing a McGill University sweater around her waist, a camo t-shirt, and black and red headphones. She's wearing plain black basketball shorts that would normally be seen on a high school boy, black and red Nike basketball shoes, and plain black mid-crew length socks. Her accessories are quite extraordinary as well. A Galaxy Watch Active, a black and silver skull brooch, a necklace with a knife pendant, some hair ties, and most sparkly of it all, a princess crown ring. Her outfit may be boring, but her jewelry is ahead of her class. I'm pretty sure that this is the first time we've talked. Alina smiled brightly. Knox isn't fazed by her energy, but she has still managed to make him smile. Sorry about Brecken. You seem pretty cool. Knox smiles and nods, but doesn't respond. Alina lowers her voice a bit and speaks in a more calming tone. I'm sorry if I'm being annoying. I know that my energy can be a little much for people sometimes. If there's ever a time you want me to quiet down, don't be afraid to speak up. You're not annoying, Knox mumbles. Sorry if I'm being rude, I'm just not a big fan of group work is all. Yeah, I'm not really either, Lena adds, looking over the assigned work. I always feel like I can do much better on my own. And finish faster, too. I never end up getting work done, Knox mutters, picking up pieces of spaghetti and stabbing some into marshmallows. Oh, and stabbing some marshmallows with them. I'd rather just eat the marshmallows than watch some anime or read manga. What's your favorite anime? Alina asks with the tone that shows she genuinely cares. Knox sits back and lets out a breath. I can't think right now. There's just so much. Probably maybe the Seven Deadly Sins or Hunter x Hunter. Energy causes Knox's voice to raise, and a smile shows on his face. This time it isn't forced. Do you watch anime? No, I can't read subtitles, and I'd rather actually watch the show. Alina responds as she builds a base to the tower. She faces Knox, smirks, then shoves a handful of marshmallows into her mouth, and then tosses the bag at Knox. Knox laughs. There are dubbed animes, though they don't get as much respect from weebs. Knox takes a handful of marshmallows and shoves them in his mouth. What does dub mean? Alina starts building the towers upwards. It means that it's voiced in a different language, like English. Knox smiles. Want some recommendations? I only have Netflix, Alina mentions, stabbing a few more noodles into some marshmallows to keep the tower stable. So if they're on Netflix, then sure. Sweet. Knox turns to Alina, full of excitement. I have like 20 ideas. Do you have Instagram? Alina asks him, finishing the walls to the tower. No, but I can set one up later. Knox says in an upbeat tone. Hang on, I'll make a list of animes you should watch. Alina perks up like she just had an idea. Maybe we can watch them together sometime. Where do you live? Just down the street. Knox points out the window, not even looking away from his paper as he scribbles down the names to animes. Same, just the other way. Alina smiles. Are you busy after school today? I have some stuff to do first, but maybe in like 4 or 5. Sounds good to me, Alina beams. I have band practice after school today, so that time sounds perfect. We can meet outside the school at like 4:30. Ooh, Nox is hitting on Alina. Brecken calls from the other side of the room. Everyone looks over, and it appears that Nox has closed himself off again. She's way out of your league. You might as well just date one of your imaginary girlfriends, though even they won't like you back. Alina's lip twitches, and she rises to her feet. In a furious tone, she yells, Brecken, you fucking bitch. Stop acting like you're better than everyone else. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Calm down, girls. Mr. Smith attempts to ease the situation. And with bringing feelings into this, why don't you tell Hope about all the conversations you've had with her brother? Or even Caitlin's boyfriend? Alina ratted out Brecken. The boys are avoiding eye contact with the girls. Brecken's jaw is dropped, and her brow is furrowed. Hope is silently staring at her brother, looking sad. Caitlin is nagging at her boyfriend, demanding that he shows her his phone. You cow! Brecken cried out, tears and snot causing her to look like a toad. You're just a filthy jock. I bet you wish you were a man. At least I'm not a hoe. And at least I'm not scared of a basketball that's not even moving. Alina clapped back, her face looking like a snarling wolf. Brecken ran out crying. Everyone except for Caitlin and her boyfriend were quiet. For a second it looked like he was going to run after. For a second there it looks like he was going to run after her, but Caitlin pushed him back into his seat. Alina sits back down and lets out a heavy sigh. Nox nudges Alina's shoulder and whispers, That was badass. See you at 4:30. It's been a good 2 minutes with Mr. Smith completely frozen in place. Caitlin is still nagging her boyfriend, with all of his friends hiding their laughter. Hope's brother murmurs an apology, and she forgives him. Alright, class, Mr. Smith struggles to figure out what to say. I'm going to make some calls. Everyone stay here and continue building, I guess. What's the big deal of Brecken and Hope's brother being together? Nox asks Alina in a whisper. Also, what's his name? Alina leans over and whispers. Brecken and Hope used to be best friends, but then Brecken ditched Hope because Brecken wanted to be popular. So Aaron, Hope's brother, spent months cheering her up. Eventually he promised her that he will only start dating once she's gotten over it. And he also promised that Brecken will never be an option. Nox nods in understanding. So a broken promise then? Precisely, Alina responds. Mr. Smith comes marching into the room with the principal following. The principal points at Alina and orders in a demanding tone. Alina, my office, now. See you later, both Alina and Nox say in unison as Alina leaves the room. A few silent nods of respect are directed at Alina as she's taken out of the room into the office. And for anyone wondering, I've written certain portions of that chapter from personal experience. Mainly just things I've wanted to say to bitches in the past, but never got the chance to due to morality. And the fact that we were 9 years old and we're not supposed to know those kind of things. Alright, now let's read the last chapter that I uploaded. So for some context, basically Alina, one of the main characters, so this entire story switches between two minds, Nox and Alina. So Alina recently got out of a toxic relationship with a man that was cheating on her, and then she found a new amazing guy at a coffee shop that a friend of her Actually, I'm going to explain the friend first, or else it'll just sound confusing. So basically, one of the times that Alina and her toxic ex were hanging out, there were also a bunch of other friends there, and there was one girl, Adele, that was hanging out with them. She was just completely concerned for Alina and wanted to warn her immediately. So after a bit, something happened. I don't remember what happened exactly, but Alina started feeling sick of her toxic ex-boyfriend, or toxic boyfriend at the time. So Adele suggested to play a prank on him, or get back at him in some sort of way. And then there was a huge fight because the toxic boyfriend was shit talking his girlfriend with Knox around. So Knox and his big brother, who also has a crush on Alina, ended up beating up the toxic boyfriend's ass. And so Alina and the toxic boyfriend broke up, and then Alina and Dell were friends. And basically now Knox's brother, I forgot his name, and Adele, I think I already said Alina. Basically, they're all friends, but mainly just Adele and Alina one on one. So Adele decided to invite Alina to one of her favorite coffee shops where she met a really nice guy. They started talking to each other for a bit. They found each other's numbers and they started dating. So I'm pretty sure that's the catch up that you need. I think this is right after the Valentine's Day special because this one's called Last Night Was So Amazing. And one of the chapters is called Valentine's Day. So yeah, this is the Valentine's Day special. So yeah, basically I think this is when Alina is reviewing the date that she had with the amazing new guy. His name is Daniel. I just saw his name pop up. All right, so the final chapter I uploaded last night was so amazing. So, yesterday's date was so amazing. I lay back on the sofa in front of the fireplace, gripping the hot chocolate in my hands. Adele is resting on the sofa next to me, a mocha in one hand and a cookie in the other. Ever since Daniel dropped me off last night, I haven't been able to stop thinking about him. My voice comes out as head over heels in love. My voice comes out as a head over heels in love exhale. Everything was so perfect. What'd you guys do? Adele asked with a high amount of interest. I gaze up at the ceiling. Daniel can probably hear me from behind a counter, but I don't care. He deserves to know how amazing he is. Well, when he picked me up, he gave me a bouquet of flowers and a box of chocolates. Classic, Adele giggles. Simple, but amazing, I grin from ear to ear. Then he took me out to a cafe. He told me it's one of his favorites growing up. It was so romantic. There were lights strung everywhere, and there were even lavender candles lit on all of the tables. The food and drinks were so delectable as well. All right, Adele smiles, speaking motivatingly. Flowers, chocolates, high-quality cafe. What else? Okay, get this. I sit up, holding my hands up in front of me, shaking with excitement that the memory gives me. After that, we went for a walk, and he gave me his hoodie. I gestured to my body, showing her the black and dark green Nike hoodie of his, hugging myself with how oversized it is on me. There's a little area on the sleeves that are dented a little from when I was crying. They were tears of joy, of course. And Daniel was even there when I was crying. He held me in his arms, and we didn't move until I was calm again. Adele's impressed. Jaw dropped. After that, we went to the gym and I won't be able to relate to the rest of this. Adele holds up her hand, cutting me off. She lowers her hand and leans forward. But it's obvious that he really is a catch, and I'm happy for you. We have another date planned next week, I grin widely, holding the sleeves of my hoodie against my face. He's taking me to the movies. Oh, really? She raises her eyebrows. What movie? I shrug. I'm not sure. He said it's going to be a surprise, and I'm going to choose to trust him because he's clearly amazing with surprises. That makes sense, she nods, though her smile suddenly turns down into a frown. Her usual cheer has shifted into a wary whisper, and she leans forward. How do you think Knox is doing? I lower the sleeves of Daniel's hoodie away from my face. My comfortable, joyful posture shifts into a slouch, and I can't help but feel a bit of grief at the mention of his name. He's still being pretty distant, and he hasn't spoken to me since I asked him if he'd like a ride home with us. Do you think he's still upset? She asks, keeping her eyes locked on me. I furrow my brows, but that's what I don't get. What is he so upset about? He's the one that's avoiding us. She sits back in her seat, sipping on her drink. I don't know. Have you thought that maybe he just wants to spend some time alone with you like you two used to? I figured he was just scared because of that interaction between him and Daniel. I stutter, trying to think about the last time him and I hung out in his room, just the two of us. That may be true, she nods, finishing her drink, but there's also a chance that he might just be the kind of person who doesn't like change, but also is too scared to tell others how he's really feeling. Why couldn't we have just stuck to the positives? Most likely, but I have known him. Most likely. I have known him for years, and I do find that he doesn't tend to like it when something changes. Maybe try talking to him, she suggests, handing me a plate with the remaining cookie on it. I take it and bite down, M&M and Reese's melting into my mouth, and actually talk to him without anyone interrupting. He cares about you after all, and it pains me to see you two being distant with each other. Daniel sets down another mug on the table. I second that. Both Adele and I snap our heads up to him. Huh? He nods. Yeah, I may have been harsh to him, but I do still understand that you two are best friends. So go talk to him. He needs you. I'll be ready to talk to you afterwards if there's an argument or something. And that is the end of the last chapter that I uploaded. And also, I already finished recording the outro of this, but I didn't realize that Anchor stopped recording, so I had to start back from a few minutes prior. But yeah, basically, the series is called Complete Opposites. You'll be able to find it on Quotev, Inkitt, Wattpad, and Webnovel, as well as FIB. You can find it on my link tree, because I have the feeling I'm not gonna have the energy to link all those 5 sites. So yeah, basically the site is free, the story is free, discontinued but free. And if you'd like to know like the story of the friendship, then feel free to read it. Not edited, of course. But I'd say it's actually pretty good. That the ending that I feel bad for cutting off at is decent. After all, I would absolutely be angry if I found out that that's how everything just like ended just because the author lost interest. Because that right there, that ending would have grabbed my interest right there. But yeah, this episode's getting a little long since I did the reading and everything. So let's just do one final thing. Let's just look at one final meme and then put an end to it. Alright, so, them. So how many main characters will your new story have? Me? A sensible 74. Alright, and that is everything for this week's meeting. Follow at CWC Publishing on Twitter. Check out my novels Death Trail, Flame Rip, and Arctic Blaze on Amazon and Kobo, link in the description. Check out the Creative Writing Club Discord server in the description. Check out Creative Writing Club Instagram at creativewriting_club. Check out my personal Instagram at dark_night_wolves. And time for the zero idea of a meeting and to its conclusion. I didn't even say bring, but whatever.